Ah, that's better. Got some good light today. Of course. Come on. Come into the frame. Don't be afraid now. Yeah, she is. Yeah, I'll let her do that, but as long as she don't lick, I gotta let her go. Face a little burnt up. I was out there in the sun for a couple of days. Jesus. I did not look good. Out there in the sun for a couple of days. My girl, she can't be alone for too long. She has to get a pet. So, I'm reviewing Breaking Bad, Season 2, Episode 12. I watched it a couple of like a little bit under an hour ago, and man, this was a good episode. I mean, this one had me. I'm still not really able to put together sentences for this episode. I mean, maybe I'm over exaggerating. I could put together sentences. I apologize. So, um, starts off with Mr. White uh, getting getting to the hospital after making one of the biggest transactions so far in the series. Pinkman is a complete loss at this point to me. At this point in the episode, Pinkman is a complete loss. I mean, he's talk about now. I know where that saying comes from. Going off diving off the deep end because he's at the bottom of the deep end in this one. I mean, he's damn near in the ocean. So I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, so him and his girlfriend, they're completely like they're gone. They're not present at all. Uh, excuse me, I just ate my dinner. Um, so he has all his money, like 1.2, something like that. He has like $1 million or something like that. They're gonna divide it 400 because of the guy they sold to gets his. Oh no, because of the guy who connected him with the guy they sold it to gets his percentage, of course. So there's that. But there's still quite a bit of coin right there, brother. Um, but of course, you know, I have to agree with Mr. White on this one. He's pretty upset. I mean, he almost missed the deal because Pinkman was like zoned. Not that's putting too light zone. I mean, he was high as all get out. That's even a saying. I mean, he was baked. Dude was gone. He almost missed a chance to get the biggest. It's the biggest payday this far in the series. Um, Walter Jr. makes an appearance in this one. The in-laws make an appearance in this one, and of course, the birth of Mr. White's new daughter um, is in the beginning of the this episode, and her boss is actually one that drove her to the hospital. So there's that. So that I like how they put that in there. The writers and the director, I like how they put that into the episode, like not leaving any stone unturned. That gets the viewer thinking, or it gets me thinking like there's still something there because he's just this he just didn't disappear. Um, yeah, I'm trying. I hope I don't forget. There was one scene. It's later on, and I have to say it now, or I'll forget it. It was one scene later on in the episode. Mr. White is contemplating whether or not to uh, give Pinkman his share. I mean, so many things have transpired up until that point. I mean, Pinkman's girl is threatened to blackmail Mr. White, and of course, that's not sitting well with him. But like it's said in the series so many times before, and like I think I've said, Mr. White or nor Pinkman, but neither of them are cut off of this lifestyle, and it shows again here because somebody's blackmailing you. You don't sit there and contemplate whether or not to give them money. You really shouldn't have got in bed with her in the first place. You have to eliminate them. Now, of course, I'm not capable of that. That's why I'm not in the drug business. But um, he's sitting there contemplating it. But I forget there was some good song playing. There was some really good song, some song, really good song playing in the background while he's sitting there contemplating. I just thought it was so masterfully done. And then there's another issue. I mean, another point I have to make. After after he drops off the money, and of course the whole time I'm thinking the Pinkman's lady friend is just gonna bamboozle him, get him high, take the money and run. It's a lot of money, but it turns out she really is legitimately just a junkie, and or an addict. Let's put it that way. Put it in a nice way. She's just an addict. So they wind up getting high and passing out, and they have all this money in the house, but it doesn't mean anything because they're sitting there just baked, and Mr. White goes to a bar. He's supposed to be out getting diapers. He goes to a bar, and who does he run into? He runs into uh, the young lady's father of all people in the bar, and they find common ground over not even knowing what they're going through. They find common ground through that in a conversation. It's to me that is to me that is it can't get any better than that as far as writing goes for a teleplay or a screenplay. I'm trying to use some of the words that I know, but it can't get no better than that. It can't get any better than that. Any better than that. Well, I, no, I'm sorry. As of now, this is my favorite episode. Um, man, just I'm blown away by this series so far. It's so good, and then the ending, I didn't see it coming because like I said a few moments ago, I was hoping some subconsciously, or maybe I was hoping not even subconsciously, maybe I was hoping that she would just bamboozle him, but it didn't wind up that way. They're really together, and the end of the episode is her choking on her own vomit and Mr. White being present. And of course, he cries at the end. He's very emotional about what he just witnessed. But all his problems are solved, though. Who has that type of luck? All his problems are solved. He didn't have to do anything. I mean, he just sat there. He could have saved her life, but I think he still had a problem with her. That's all I'm gonna put out there. That's why I'm not in that type of life because I can't make these decisions. Okay, I got a regular job like most people. Get a I get a paycheck and I save, try and invest, and hope for the best. That's what I do. I don't sit there and manufacture um, highly addictive narcotics and then stumble my way through that marketplace trying to sell them. But it makes for good entertainment. I tell you that much. Now, is there something else I'm leaving out in this episode? Yeah, I was in such a rush to get to that particular part of the episode, which is the end, that I left out so much of the middle portion of the episode, which I have to say I would not consider filler. I would say it is important to the story that takes place in this episode. I mean, the actor who's playing Pinkman actually does a great job of portraying somebody who's really he's hooked two times over. He's hooked first and foremost to heroin, and secondly he's hooked to this girl. This girl has got him like in a trance, completely under her spell, and this actress even does a good job of doing that. And the father comes in. I know I've seen that father in some other movie. I just can't remember. I feel like he's a British actor though, but he does a great job. I can't find too many flaws with this episode. They even bring back the Mexican restaurant where Mr. White had the first meeting with the person who's purchased all of the narcotics. They bring that back into the fold, and it's just like there's so many reoccurrences from other episodes, and there's so much. The dialogue, of course, I'm not expecting like Quentin Tarantino type dialogue. I mean, I do hold him to a higher standard as far as dialogue and movies go, but okay, comparing things that shouldn't be compared. I apologize, but this is a good episode. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. I really was struggling not to watch another episode, but I kind of do have things to do. Don't want to rub in anybody's face, but I have to prepare for tomorrow. So